Socialization live. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today is the 3rd of October. The 3rd of October for many Asian cultures is a very significant day. For Koreans, it's Chuseok, which is Korean Thanksgiving, going all the way back to the era of the founding of Gojoseon, the first ever, I guess you could say, established dynasty or an era in Korean history, which people refer to as like the foundings of the Korean identity as we know it today. And it is also a very important day for many other East Asian and I think South Asian cultures as well. But then those people celebrated it technically yesterday in America's October 2nd. Hello, Quill from the future. How are you doing?
What's up, guys?
How's it going, Quail?
What are we missing? What happens? Please tell us.
The future is a cloudy day. Just gonna put that out there.
Oh,
Yeah,
sweet.
it was cloudy too from the smoke.
Yeah,
Oh, that's true. That's true. It was also pretty hot.
the smoke has come back and the heat wave is pretty bad. Yeah, so cool. Did you do anything special for the 3rd of October? Or do you know if Japanese people do anything special in like that autumn harvest, whatever it might be?
I feel ashamed. I do not know.
Oh,
Hmm.
maybe not something as like big for Japanese culture then maybe?
I do not know. I don't want to misguide any listeners.
Mhm. All right.
So please Google search.
Yes, keep it safe. Google search.
Well, I
Because
know
it does-
it's
go
it's
for it.
it's mooncake season
Yes,
though.
the
Yes.
mooncakes. Right, so like Chinese people eat mooncakes. What about the mooncakes though?
Oh, the mooncakes come in like many different like forms, I guess. Like the one I typically get is like the lotus paste and the salted yolk. It's been like forever since I had a mooncake. I think I just had it recently, like this year. But beforehand, it's been like 4 years.
Why didn't you eat mooncakes in the past?
Because I was in college and didn't have the time to go out and of my way to buy some mooncake.
Okay, I'm sorry. I think of like another reason.
Still gotta say, not a fan of the salted yolk after trying it after so many years, but shoot.
Please.
So my friend brought up
Thank you.
my friend brought up that like maybe you should just like maybe I eat it the wrong way. Because like I cut it up in fours, right? And then like it's almost like a pie or like a pizza. And and then I eat from like a pizza from the center in. So that's where all like the yolk is concentrated. So it's super salty.
Yeah.
And I'm like I don't like it like that.
Huh?
But maybe I gotta eat maybe from like the top down. So I get yolk every like a small amount of yolk every bite instead of just like all the yolk or like a quarter of the yolk at once. But I gotta say my favorite is definitely the lotus paste. I know there's like a couple of different forms, like there's red bean, there's the nut one. I have never tried the nut one, but that's for the elderly that they love. The nut one's also the most expensive one to buy.
Ooh. Okay.
What about you, Ben? Have you had a mooncake?
Yes, I've had many mooncakes.
Many mooncake.
From many people.
What is your favorite mooncake, Ben?
The egg.
The egg?
You gotta go with the class. It's like the OG mooncake, right?
Yeah, with the
Sort of?
lotus paste and the egg in it.
Yeah, the egg, dude. The salty goodness with the sweet pastry bread thingy of the exterior.
What about you, Sean? What is your favorite mooncake? If you had it.
I really like red beans. so I like the red bean mooncakes. The lotus ones are also good, but
Mm.
I like red bean more.
Mhm.
And those are really
Mhm.
the only two I have because, at least recently, at the Ranch 99 near me,
Uh,
those are the only ones they have in like the mini form. And I don't want to eat like 1,200 calories of mooncakes
oh
because they're
yeah,
like
that's true.
ridiculously unhealthy.
Mhm.
What
Um,
about you, Quill? Have
I'm
you had the mooncake?
I'm particular to the red bean. I the egg for me just doesn't do it. Maybe it's my
mhm.
my American taste buds that just need pounds of sugar to to feel anything. But also in Japan you get a lot of anko
Mm.
with everything, and
Oh
it's just
yeah.
become my favorite.
Okay.
Mm.
Mm. Well, about that.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
no, Sean, you've been waiting to say something. Go for it.
No, I was just gonna say on the topic of eggs, I will
Ah,
say one of the best preparation of eggs is pickled eggs.
pickled egg.
It's very
What?
good.
I remember you did have them in Berkeley. I did.
I've made them many a times.
Well,
What
like
are
when I came over, you had like one. Oh no, you just finished like the batch you made or
what,
something like that.
what are pickled eggs?
You take
Isn't
Just
it
some
boiled
eggs
eggs?
and you
Huh?
boil like hard boil some eggs,
Eh?
and then you fill a mason jar with vinegar,
Oh,
some
oh.
water, some spices,
sugar. Oh,
some sugar, some like curry powder. If you want like curry, you can do like jalapenos or
Uh,
beet juice, depending on what you want your pickled egg to end up as.
but what is your favorite, Sean?
what the
Give
heck?
us.
I really like the curried pickled egg.
What the heck?
That sounds
I
really
made them
good.
for a party once. I had about
Mm.
10 or 15 people over,
Next
and we
time we
all.
meet up, Sean, you should bring some.
Oh my
For
god.
us.
Sure,
How do
sure.
I, I'm
I'll just start them now because they take like 2 weeks.
they're like egg pickles, right? Like you just put like pickle brine and then just let eggs soak in it.
Yes, and you just let
Oh,
the eggs sit for a couple weeks
what the
in
heck?
this vinegar and spice mixture,
Oh my
and
god.
you're left with a delicious, fantastic pickle egg. And if you can eat
Oh
it
my
with
god.
some salt and
What?
vinegar crisps, and you'll be
Mm.
sorted, as they say.
What pickle?
Do you just leave it out in like room temp, or do you put it
No,
in the
I put it in the
fridge?
fridge because I think it might kill you otherwise.
Yeah, I was just wondering.
What? What does a pickled egg taste like?
It tastes like an egg that has been pickled.
So it's a salty, vinegary
It's
egg.
not a brine, so it's not. It doesn't end up actually being like that salty. It's more of like the vinegar and like spice kind of
Uh,
flavor.
do you leave the eggshell in, or do you just like you peel it and then you
I
put all
mean,
the?
traditionally I have peeled it, but if
Mm.
my seventh grade science class is anything, I do believe if you leave the eggshell in there, it will just disappear over the course of the 2 weeks.
From the vinegar?
Yes, but then you'll be left with
From
that like inner membrane. You'll have to like peel that off.
yeah.
I've always just peeled the eggs before putting them in the jar.
Mm.
Oh, okay.
I
Mm.
did stain my roommate's plastic measuring cup
Oh no.
with a bunch of hot, like turmeric mixed in the vinegar. And, well, actually, if you look at almost every piece of kitchen equipment I own, it is stained with turmeric from cooking
It never
curry.
washes out, I swear.
We just gotta
It's
get you like a
impossible.
glass or like a like stainless steel like
Yeah,
kitchen set,
yeah. I at this point in time, I believe my roommate had either broken or stolen, like a previous roommate, my set of measuring cups.
Mhm.
And so I was using my roommates, which were plastic, and that was a mistake.
That was a mistake.
Man, now whenever you fill it up with water, it's just yellow.
The
It
water's
looks
yellow?
almost as if it was intended to be
Oh
that color.
no.
I mean, South Bay water could be that way.
Ew.
Uh,
Inferior water supply.
yeah.
Because like similar to pickled eggs, like there's like the Chinese tea eggs, which I really like, but I don't know if I
I
would like.
haven't had one.
I also haven't had one.
Oh my gosh, what the heck?
Is it the same thing, but you put it in tea?
Yeah, basic.
I,
Yeah, basic.
I
You-
thought
you-
I thought you like soak it in like soy sauce, right?
It could be soy sauce, but then like you also soak it. I think it's like a soy sauce with like a tea bag inside, and then you boil the soy sauce water tea bag mixture, and then you dunk the eggs in there, and then I don't know how it's prepared, but it's like I think it's somewhat similar.
So you
'Cause,
boil eggs in tea?
Yeah, you
Soy
boil eggs in
sauce?
tea. Yeah,
Oh,
so it's like
that doesn't
salty,
sound
but then
bad.
also herby.
Huh.
Yeah,
How about the like 100-year eggs?
are those?
Oh, the century eggs.
Yeah.
What are those?
It's like I think it's duck. It's basically duck egg. I think,
I
or
think,
it's
I think you do with different types of eggs.
With the fetus
okay.
inside?
No.
No,
That's
that's balut.
balut.
Oh, I love balut. So good.
But it's like you soak it in like soy sauce or something like that, and then the membrane, like I guess you know how like the egg white part is
Yeah.
black, and then the yolk part is now like jade greenish.
Wow.
Yes. According to the
I really only
Oh.
have it for like rice porridge and juk.
Oh.
And that's where like most of the flavors should come from.
Yeah.
It's very salty. This I remember the last time I tried it, but that was like as a kid, and then I just didn't. The texture was off on the yolk, and therefore I didn't like it as much. But I
Mhm.
probably should try it again. With my changed taste buds over these years, but haven't had the chance in a while.
Diversify your palate.
Yeah.
Sean, were you saying something?
Yes, according to the Wikipedia article, they're made by preserving them in clay, ash, salt, quicklime, and rice hulls.
What the heck?
You leave them in there for a few weeks to a few months, and then you eat them.
Dang.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So
Huh.
fermented boiled eggs.
Yes. So
Almost sounds like you're
it's a
making an egg
different
TNT
kind.
bomb.
Yeah, there's some like stuff that you don't necessarily consume that's mixed in with the pickling, fermenting.
I don't know about you, but I eat quicklime all the time.
Lime.
I put a little bit of that in like some. God, what do you use lime for?
A chalk
Pie.
pie? Key lime pie?
Yeah.
Wait, lye or lime?
Oh, what?
I was saying lime, like quicklime.
Don't you use lye for soap?
Yeah, that's what I
Yes.
heard. My bad.
And you use rye for bread.
Rye for bread.
Ooh.
You use dye for clothing.
Oh, I thought you used that to like leave this plane of existence.
Oh yes, that too.
It's a good time.
Good time.
I'm just kidding.
We do not condone
You know. You know, we just have very dark humor.
Yes, we take a very hard anti-death perspective.
We're
on
not
this.
necessarily
Say no to death, guys.
Yes.
not necessarily pro-life, but not pro-death either.
When death comes to you, you say, "Not today."
Not today.
Yeah, back to eggs. So
Back to eggs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. A question that represents, life. The egg itself, a symbol of life in many different cultures and phenomena.
Which came first, the chicken or the egg?
And why does it matter which one does come first?
True.
Isn't life precious in that manner?
Yes.
I think the chicken's better for eating, but that's just me.
Yeah. Well, that depends if the chicken's all fattened up or not.
Well, if you have a bunch of chickens, you can also get a bunch of eggs, so win-win.
Unless they're male chickens.
Yes, I made that mistake.
Oh.
I believe I've already told that story on this podcast.
Did you?
Maybe.
I wasn't there.
What? Wait. I think that was a conversation in real life
Was it? Oh,
about you had roosters, right?
yes, I'll
In
give
your
you the
neighborhood.
abridged version. My seventh grade class hatched chickens as a science experiment, I suppose, and then the chickens were offered to the students to take home and raise as
Oh no.
pets. And then we took them home, and we're like, yes, we're gonna have some eggs. We're like looking into building like a coop in the backyard, doing the whole thing. And then one fateful morning, we hear a little caw, 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 at about 6 in the morning, and we're like, was that? That couldn't be. Then the next day, we hear another caw, 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 caw. And then it turns out of the two chickens that we had gotten, both of them were roosters. So we had to
No.
send them to live in a farm in Nevada.
Nice.
Probably just got chopped up.
No, that's not a euphemism. People always think that the nice farm in Nevada is a euphemism, but it's not. Those chickens, they're probably dead now, to be fair, because that was a long time ago. They lived a long, healthy, happy life
In Nevada, the
in
happiest
Nevada
state
on
on
a
earth.
farm with the other chickens. I actually heard a story about how one of our chickens, it was big and white, and it had a name that I now forget. It went there and it actually killed the other alpha chicken and became the alpha chicken.
Oh my. Oh
Ooh.
dang. Chickens are violent.
So perhaps my chicken actually died when a newer alpha chicken arrived on the scene and killed the older alpha chicken, such is the circle of life. Not that we condone that because we're anti-death in this podcast, but
We're anti-death,
Anti-death.
anti-pro. Uh, so Quill, you brought up earlier about your American taste buds. You prefer, how were raised with American preferences and flavors and tastes, and probably proportions as well. How would you say that that affected you as you slowly transitioned to a more, I guess you say, permanent way of life in Japan?
The first thing Americans will say when they come to Japan is that everything is so small. That's that's just the way it is in Japan. If you order a drink at McDonald's, it's tiny. If you order a drink at Starbucks, there's an extra small size here. So definitely I felt like I wasn't getting my money's worth at first.
Hmm.
But then over time you realize that you don't have to eat so much or drink so much to be satisfied, and you're, at least for me, my stomach it shrank. So when I went back to the US for the first time, I couldn't finish the half-pound burgers or the mountain of french fries.
Gosh.
And in terms of taste, I think that a lot of Americans don't realize how sweet their food is or
Mm.
how much sugar is in it. And you travel abroad and you realize that a lot of other cultures are not, eating cereal that's 50% sugar by weight for breakfast. And, having mochi in Japan, one of the few traditional sweets, is very special and it's not very sweet. And so kind of have to adjust to that and learn to enjoy things that are not as sweet.
Mhm. Mm.
But I think it's been a healthy transition. Less sweets and less massive portions.
That's massive proportion. Mm. How about the other flavors that might not be so nuanced? Because like sweetness and saltiness are the things that usually stand out across many different cultures. I know my Korean parents always complain about how salty American food is and how not sweet American fruit is. How would that go with other flavors in your experience?
The interesting thing in Japan is that the affinity for spice held in Korea is not it's not the same here. Most Japanese food is not very spicy, and while there is spicy ramen, that's I think that's more of an import. And even even toothpaste in the US is really minty. You brush your teeth and, sometimes it'll bring a tear to your eye because it's so minty. But
I see.
here in Japan, it's just mild. And if you really want a super spicy curry, you have to order the spiciest of the spicy and then ask the chef for more,
Oh,
for more chilies. Though, yeah, never. I've only been outspiced once by ramen, once or twice. But in Korea, when I was in Korea, I cried my eyes out almost every night because that barbecue, actually, just the
Man,
kimchi alone made my like nose bleed. It was
No.
crazy.
Yeah.
Good
I need to go
stuff.
to Korea.
Highly recommend.
send me to Korea.
Send me to Korea? Question mark.
Seems like a safer
No.
place than here right now.
Yeah. And I want to open that question up to both both you two as well.
By the way, I had one question for Quell.
Oh.
So which toothpaste do you prefer? Quell, do you well no, do you mind like the milder like Japanese toothpaste, or do you go like, man, I
I
like
want some
feeling
Colgate right
mint,
now.
like some minty fresh toothpaste?
Yeah, actually, disclaimer, we're not sponsored by any of these brands, but I love Pepsodent. It's the baking soda filled American
Ooh.
toothpaste.
Mm-hmm.
It like tastes like root beer to me.
Oh, what?
So that kind of strange root beery flavor. I don't know why. But anyway, I brought like 3 tubes of that over with me back to
Nice.
Japan.
Oh my gosh.
But now I specially buy a brand of toothpaste that has spicy in the name. So it's like
Spicy.
spicy brand Japanese toothpaste just for that extra bite.
Reminds you of home.
Yeah.
So if we sent you a care package, right, Quill? Like, what are some of the things you miss, like from here,
Toothpaste.
other than like Pepsodent toothpaste,
Toothpaste and
peanut
peanut
butter?
butter. Peanut butter is so expensive in this country. It's
So
I
you
don't know
want
how
like
much the large.
Skippy,
Yeah, Skippy.
or is
And
it Jif?
Are there
Jif?
peanuts or like just raw peanuts?
raw peanuts aren't too expensive, but Skippy peanut butter is really expensive in Japan.
Hmm.
Like a little tiny jar is $5. So
Dang.
What
also
about
Nutella.
Chunky?
Oh, chunky. That's my
Chunky.
favorite.
I knew it. My kind of guy.
I'm sorry, I'm more of a creamy kind of guy myself.
You know,
I'm on the fence.
I also don't
Go
eat
both ways.
peanut
Yeah.
butter like too often. I never get cravings for peanut butter, but I'm like, if I do get it, I hope it's chunky.
It's just more
Wait,
filling.
why chunky? Because it's more filling?
More texture,
Texture. Oh, are you
different
guys texture
texture.
eaters? You guys are texture eaters?
I think I'm a little bit of both.
I think my favorite food is like curry, so I guess I'm the opposite of the texture eating. I prefer my food to be liquid.
Texture is wonderful.
The mouthfeel.
It's wet. How about you, Cole? Are you a flavor or texture eater?
I think I'm a flavor guy. I
Okay.
enjoy a trip to Flavor Town,
Flavor town. Oh, what
Speaking
was I
of
gonna?
peanuts, oh sorry.
Oh, no. I didn't have to say anything.
Speaking of peanuts, I know it's not peanuts, but the sesame noodles at Shandong in Oakland,
Mhm.
I miss them very much.
Oh, those are pretty good. Pretty good.
Yes.
In Chinatown?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's near like
It's like
Piedmont, right?
around the block from Shooting Star.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
rest in peace to a legend.
Is it
It's
like
not
a ramen
What do you
or
mean it's not
Soba?
closed?
It's not close.
We can go out and next
To-
time.
to go
Shooting
in,
Star.
yeah.
Ride some.
Is it Shooting Star? I don't know if I want to stand around outside downtown Oakland at 2 a.m. like I would stand
We're-
inside Shooting
Okay,
Star.
we're not gonna stand around. We'll be riding our electric scooters.
But I can't eat and ride at the same time.
That's true. That's true.
You gotta take pit stops
find a bench by the
Mm.
lake?
on the bench, but like hopefully not be approached by a very ominous stranger.
Oh yeah. There's the brighter side of Lake Merritt, and we can hang there.
Don't see someone squatting down next to their car and
Hey man, sometimes you gotta go. You gotta go.
just dropping a fire
Who-
hose. And then-
Where are we to jump?
It still haunts you till this day.
Dude, I still picture it.
Oh no.
TMI, but I think it was last year, right?
Yeah, it was during
Over a year ago at this point.
Over a year ago. The three of us, Kyle, Sean, and I, just used the scooters, like the scooters that Lyft, Uber, etc. offer, and you just
Electrics, like
electric
scooters.
Yeah. You just
They're not
pay.
like the ones you sit down on, the ones you stand up.
You stand on, like the Razor scooters, but they're electric.
Yes.
And you pay a certain amount for how long you ride. But we were zooming around Lake Merritt in Oakland, and then we passed by some apartments, and across the apartments where cars are parked for the residents, we were just zooming, but then we passed by a car, and that car happened to have a woman, uh, sort of standing next to the open door in between, like the door. Oh, she was standing in between the open door and her car. And I'm like, "Oh, is she okay?" And I was watching as we were sort of zooming by, but like we were at an angle where I could sort of see for quite a good amount of time, and we weren't that far away either, so everything was audible. But she starts
no.
squatting down. She rolled up her dress, and I just hear the sound of water hitting asphalt. And
Now-
it wasn't that long. It was like a split second, maybe a second long, but just the imagery, the sensory details of auditory information as well, just etched itself into my mind, and I can't forget it at all.
I don't even remember, or like I was barely like behind you, and I didn't even see that.
I think for the better, Kyle, for the better.
Probably.
Yeah, but hopefully, if we ever ride scooters again, we will not fall to such fate once more. Wrapping this back around, I wanted to open up the question with Kyle and Sean too about their experiences. Not exclusively in Japan for you too, Cole, because you've been to a lot of places. I haven't. A lot of other countries and a lot of different cultures, a lot of different foods, a lot of different cuisines, and just how your experiences growing up as an American for all of us sort of shaped how you approach different cuisines in foreign countries.
I guess I'll start. In my experience, I grew up with a very bland diet. It was essentially some meat, which may or may not have seasoning, and some potatoes. Occasionally, if we were feeling fancy, some rice,
Ooh.
and maybe some like baked tater tots or
Wow.
baked
Baked
chicken.
tater- Baked chicken.
Baked chicken tenders and
Baked?
chicken nuggets.
Ooh, healthy, I see.
Yeah, it's very healthy, and that was, I think, a lot of my diet from a young age. So I grew up not really knowing what food tastes like, and it remained that way until college.
Wow.
And I tasted food, and I think that's one of the reasons I like Indian food so much, is because it's like the opposite of everything I had thought about food.
Oh. Mm.
Whereas normally I would, like, growing up, I just would have had like some potatoes and some chicken, and that's about it. Maybe there was some breading on the chicken, maybe there was some cheese in the mozzarella sticks. But then the first bite of Indian food with all the flavors, I was like, wow, this is what food is supposed to taste like.
You had a ratatouille sequence.
I did, except it wasn't like flashing back to my childhood, because my childhood was life. It was flashing forward to the future.
As you approach Flavor Town.
Exactly.
You said that ratatouille moment didn't happen until college, but you've been to Japan before college. How did
Yes,
that play out for you?
but I feel like, I don't know. I think I played it very safe when I was in Japan. I guess ramen might have been like the first food I had that was like flavored, technically, but it's still, I feel like Japanese food in general is more of a subtle. It like relies much more on like just kind of like, well, this is like an umami dish, or this is like a salty dish.
Did you try
Whereas
natto?
I did. I didn't have that much of it. I don't remember what I thought of it, but I do know that I tried some.
Not no, more like not no.
Hey.
I'm sorry, Sensei. That just wasn't a good experience. How about you, Kyle?
I think I kind of grew up where, like, I think I was very open about food for the most part. I would say, like, the only problem is I was picky. So, like, even though, like, it was, like, flavorful, like, I was picky. So I would get, like, the same things a lot of the time. Whenever, like, if we went out to get food, right? The only thing I did not like was like spicy food, because I had like when I was younger, I would say maybe like second grade, I had like spicy pork,
Ooh.
a Korean spicy pork,
Oh no! Oh no!
and that just like that wrecked me, like because I was like, why would you eat food and you're like in pain as well? It wasn't like till like college where I'm like, I'm gonna like improve my spice tolerance. So, so I won't be such a wimp,
Mm-hmm.
grow some hair on my chest.
Grow some hair on your tongue.
Yum.
So I will say like my spice tolerance has improved since the beginning of college, but I'm not as good as handling spice as like Ben, Quill, or probably Josh and Sean. I would say Sean probably might be the best, or Ben maybe.
Probably Sean. If he eats Indian food on the regular, probably Sean.
It's not even spicy.
I
wish I would get a restaurant to actually give me spicy food. It's so hard.
Sean's Indian food is really good, but I was like, I think it was right when I was trying to like build up my like spice tolerance, I was dying.
Yeah, I was like, oh, how much spice do you want? It's like, oh, not too much. And I was like, okay, I'll put in one habanero instead of 3.
Oh my gosh.
And then I kind of...
He was dead.
But it was really good, I gotta admit.
Sean's Curry Kitchen, that's what we call
it. I think among like Asian food, like a lot of it's good. The only thing like I could not like until like maybe like a couple years ago is like some of it like texture wise like bothered me. Like anything that was like super gelatinous, right? Super squishy, like jellyfish was okay, but like like tendons or like chicken feet. I still haven't like tried it again, but I just couldn't overcome that like texture until like recently. And even like stuff on like the steak, like the more like chewier, like fattier portions, I didn't like it as a kid. But now I'm like, ho ho ho,
Oh, the good parts.
the good stuff. Um, but I would say I was decently like open to food, but yet definitely on like the pickier side of eating. It's like somewhere in the middle, I guess.
In the middle. Okay.
I had like my favorites, and then kind of stuck with those favorites, and then now branching out, and now I'm like open to like try whatever because everything tastes. As long as it tastes good, might as well.
It's just hard to conceptualize just how vital food is in terms of representing one's a country's culture
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that, and showing all through the ingredients, through the cooking methods, just the technologies available, the geographical locations and resources available to the different distinct regions for countries. And then there's America, which is all about Flavor Town.
Fried,
Oil.
crunchy,
Fried
those
oil.
are like the basic salty, basic like flavors like that, I would say.
But then you can't neglect to mention the South and their barbecue, Cajun cuisine.
So
Ooh,
good.
Yeah, and
We have very good pizza in a lot of parts of this country.
that's
yeah,
true.
pizza.
Mexican food,
Tex-Mex.
Oh, I
so
miss
good.
Mexican food so much.
Should we
Oh,
send you Mexican food?
oh
Well,
yes.
Flash frozen Taco Bell.
There's actually a Taco Bell in Tokyo. A single Taco Bell.
a single taco.
Taco Bell.
Is it as good,
That's the foothold.
or is it
It's so
like?
much better. It's magical. Maybe it's like if I was a starving man and I found an oasis, it's kind of like that. It's so good because you haven't had it for so long.
Oh, that's a good metaphor. Like, what does it offer, or any variations to the American menu?
Yeah, do I get my Baja Blast?
I think it's the same except you can get a quesadilla with shrimp. I think that's the only major
Wow,
difference. Yeah.
seafood.
I
Yeah,
mean, that's
shrimp
the
on
same as
basically
like
everything.
McDonald's in Japan.
Oh yeah, you can get the Ep.3, the shrimp burger.
I didn't try that, but
Oh,
kind of want to.
what the heck? Shrimp, like, it's like a shrimp patty.
Yeah, it's like a fried shrimp patty, kind of like what is it, the McChicken? I don't know what the
The
American equivalent is, but
the fish fillet.
yeah,
Filet o
fish
fish.
fillet.
A
Yeah,
fillet of fish. Sorry.
except it's shrimp inside.
Wow.
Mm.
I think there's a special sauce too,
Special
tartar
sauce.
sauce.
Special
Sounds.
tartar.
So Ben, I have a
Yes.
question for you. So, you know how like moon cakes are big like cultural like food for like the New Year's and
Yeah.
all that. But for Chuseok, what is like a staple food to have during Chuseok?
I don't think there's a super traditional customary dish that needs to be prepared.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike New Year's where you eat tteokguk, which is just the rice cake stew.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing I think particular for Chuseok. It's all like dependent on the family because for Chuseok it's a big day where it's taken sort of seriously in Korea where there's a super extended holiday for everyone to go home or like go to like their extended family's household over in the countryside,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have like 20 people in like a small house, and then they just like spend a lot of time together and eat together. And for that, I think it's like a by family basis. Because then my mother told me how back in Korea, my my oldest uncle on my father's side's wife would have to prepare the food because it's like a patriarchal lineage based society.
Hmm.
And so she would always prepare like bulgogi, japchae, and then these things called 동그랑 things, which it just like basically translates to like circly bits. And it's like ground beef with mixed in with like vegetables and other stuff, and then with like a mm, what is it? Mixed egg, like scrambled egg. Um, like dip. What? You get the you get the beef mixture. You squish it into a little like patty, like slider sized patty, and then you
Hmm.
dip one side on egg. You coat it in egg, and then you fry it, or not fry it, but
Oh.
like pan fry it.
Ah.
Yeah, and so that's what our family ate. Um, but I don't think that's like universal in Korean households for Chuseok. So
But do
it's it's
you?
a it's a by family basis, I think.
What does your family do?
Well, since we don't have a extended family to visit,
Hmm.
uh, you know,
You just eat.
yeah, we just eat. We barely even celebrate Chuseok actually,
Uh,
because it's more like a day of family and like a remembrance of Korean origin. But there's not much of that in America.
hmm.
Growing up as a immigrant in America.
Did you get like seaweed soup for your birthday?
For my birthdays, yeah. Yeah. And I didn't really like it. I just ate it for the beefy, brothy flavor, but then like now I've come to appreciate the high iron content of miyeokguk, and I try to eat as much of the seaweed as possible.
Mm.
And that reminds me back like in elementary school, how not necessarily me because I didn't really bring my own lunch, but then like other kids that like brought like seaweed snacks or stuff, they're sort of like pestered, not necessarily bullied, I guess, but like sort of mildly insulted at other students' reactions to seaweed. Do you guys have like any exposure to that as well?
Yeah, people were like, "What are those?" When I brought like shrimp chips, and I'm like,
Oh,
they're like, "Ew, gross, shrimp flavor." I'm like, "What? It's like super good," and
it's good.
I'm like, I just didn't care about what they thought. Or
Mm,
I was like, yeah, you can try it, I guess, but like, it's pretty good in my opinion.
mhm. Yeah.
Um, Seaweed. I don't think I had too many comments. I just remember the shrimp chip one,
Shrimp
and
chips. Okay, so for you it was the shrimp chips. For me it was like the seaweed laver.
yeah.
Sean, Quill, were you guys did you guys have visceral reactions towards Asian snacks when you guys were younger?
I
Um,
love seaweed. I
I
think
didn't really have many.
was that in elementary school, Sean?
Yeah, I mean, my brother had a friend, um, and we'd go to his house sometimes, and his like grandma would cook us some food.
Ooh.
Um, and I thought it was good. I don't really think I didn't have much at all until later.
Mm-mm.
I had seaweed in middle school for the first time,
Hmm.
and I thought it was super good. So I started bringing it for lunch, and
You?
yeah, and I got laughed at by a lot of my friends um, that are Asian. They're just like, "What are you doing, you strange
Yeah.
white man?" But yeah, I couldn't do the shrimp chips for a long time
Really?
until I first came to Japan. I didn't really like the shrimp flavor.
Oh. Wait, how come?
See,
It it was strange for me. I I'd eaten fish and shrimp before, but it's kind of like, you know how blue raspberry isn't really a flavor? The shrimp flavor, it's not really shrimp, right? It's
Oh
kind of
yeah.
off. And I didn't like that.
Hmm.
But now, delicious.
Delicious.
What are your guys' like go-to, I guess, maybe like Asian snacks? Or like candy, I guess. Well, I guess those are snacks.
I don't know. I don't usually eat that many snacks. Snacks are temptation by the devil.
Gluttony.
I'm glad to know.
So are we
Exactly.
anti-death and anti-snack now?
No,
Or
Yes.
anti-gluttony.
I love snacks. No.
For anyone that's been to Japan, if you remember karamucho, it's like small sticks made of potato chip that are really spicy, and you can get a nice big bag of them at convenience stores. I used to eat that a lot in my early college days.
That sounds good. Dang.
You- Do you need us to send you like a bag of hot Cheetos or something, Quill?
No thanks. I was never really fond of hot Cheetos.
Uh,
But yeah, what about you guys? What's your snack of choice?
Snack of choice.
mm,
I don't snack that often either, or anti-gluttony. But if I had to, one of my favorite like Korean snacks, it's literally just like a block, like a rectangular prism of red bean paste.
I've seen those.
It's probably like 5-6 inches long and then like an inch and a half like thick
It's just
or
like a
wide.
power bar made out
Yeah,
of
yeah, it's
anko.
this power bar made out of like pretty sturdy, because I think they put like starch in it, like a pretty sturdy block of red bean paste. Like it's not hard, like it gives in when you bite it, but it's like it stays its shape.
You should
Oh,
get
that
that
sounds
for
really
Sean.
good.
I'm pretty sure Sean would like that.
Yeah,
I
I'll try to get
I
some
like
next time
red
for you.
bean. Red bean is very good.
I love red bean too. Red bean is good.
I would say my go-to snack was like the seaweed laver, laver.
Something
Uh,
Laber.
just because like it wasn't like too. You couldn't really like overeat it too
Yeah.
much, and it's like light-ish, so it was pretty good. The other one would be like shrimp chips. If I see them, I'm like, oh man.
Oh yeah, dude.
I'm like, oh,
Laver.
Laver.
flavor.
Thanks,
Laver.
Craig.
See, robots are taking over. Seaweed laver. Yeah. Hey guys, wanna talk about the eventual robot uprising again,
Oh boy.
and how robotic racism is gonna be on the rise once Elon Musk becomes half cybernetic.
After the break,
What do you mean?
AI
What do you mean
takes
Yeah,
over.
after the
becomes?
break, we should talk.
Boom, boom, boom. Okay. If you guys need a bathroom break,
Just getting some water, or
go
just
for it.
drinking some water.
Yeah. Probably not gonna record for that long either. We're already at like 50-ish minutes, so don't worry about it.
You can break this into 2 episodes, so if we ever miss a week,
Oh dang, yeah, you're right.
so we'll have some backlog now.
Mm.
So future, like if we ever, miss a week,
Yeah.
Quality content.
Quality content.
that was interesting. For we, you can title this eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be
I wanted to ask, but that we moved on. I wanted to ask what everybody's favorite preparation of eggs is.
Deviled
Poached.
eggs.
Really, deviled eggs? What's wrong?
They're so good. With you put
I mean,
cumin in them. Cumin. So good.
I feel like you can have like 2 of them, and then it's just like, oh, this is too much, you know?
Like too rich or
I don't know, because although I will say like a deviled egg sandwich is pretty good.
Poached, yeah, for me.
Poached. We got a fancy boy over here.
I like the runny yolks.
On like eggs Benedict.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We make a mean eggs Benedict as
Oh,
well. My
yeah, okay,
homemade
Sean.
English muffins.
Do you have your
Nice.
own homemade hollandaise sauce as well?
I do, yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah.
Oh.
Sean's a pro chef already.
I know.
I should cook next time.
I think for me, it had to be tea eggs or poached eggs on eggs Benedict as well. Just like the Western flavor in me and the Eastern flavor in me is choosing eggs Benedict and tea eggs. It's been a while since I had the eggs Benedict.
I'm so glad we can have the egg chat because Josh isn't here.
Why?
Because Josh hates eggs.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
really?
hates eggs. Yeah.
He despises them. It's disturbing, actually.
I really want to learn to make
forgot about
tamago, like really well.
Oh.
What?
Like okay, yeah, cool. I guess Cole's been away from the States for too long. Where tamago is just egg in Japanese.
Oh, you're right.
It's like it's like a block of like just whisk.
It's the square pan.
Yeah,
the square
it's
pan.
like,
Okay.
it's sort of like cakey, a little sweet.
Yeah, the tamagoyaki.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, that's like my third like favorite preparation of eggs. Actually, tamagoyaki.
I really want to like just make that super well. I might go buy a pan.
Square pan.
Square pan. Start learning.
Yeah, dude. If Sean can make hollandaise sauce, you can make tamagoyaki.
I made tamagoyaki at some point, not very well in high school, for the bento box assignment.
Oh, you know what I remember, Sean? When I went to IKEA, I saw lingonberries. And I always remember.
Remind me. I
So
wanted
good.
IKEA was too far. Like if I drove to IKEA, I don't think I had enough money to pay for the gas to drive to IKEA back then.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
The whataberries?
Lingonberries.
What are those?
Swedish berry. It's made into jam just like strawberries or blueberry.
Yes.
But it's
Wow.
it's more
Looks like a cranberry.
yeah.
Ooh.
They're
And
kind of tart too, right?
yeah,
Tarty
they're pretty tart. And I searched for them. I searched for them with all my heart.
I came on one of those searches.
To
Yes.
fly with dragons.
They went to that European market next to Hong Kong barbecue.
Yeah.
Oh, that European market?
They didn't have it. They were
Oh.
like Russian or Bulgarian or something like that, not Swedish.
Oh, that's sad.
It's like Eastern European market.
Eastern European market.
And then right after the time expired for my search, I learned that they have lingonberry jam at IHOP, and I could have just like asked them if they could give me like a large quantity in a takeout container.
Because it was for the end of the year
Yeah, potluck.
Oh.
I made potato pancakes.
Wow.
I didn't end up putting them out because they looked so sad because people went all out like senior year for that.
Yeah, we did go all out senior year.
And I looked at my little things. I was like, this is not worthy.
I think I got like a big tray of like chow mein that year. Or fried rice. One of the two.
Wait, no.
Yeah.
Get the fried rice because
beef.
Shoot.
What do you mean? We haven't started our
is this
second
the episode?
one.
I thought we were just chatting.
Yeah, we're just chatting, I think.
It's still
Right?
recording though.
Yes, I've been recording.
Oh yeah, I thought we were gonna like cut at the end.
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
break.
we're gonna
Oh,
like
really? Oh.
yeah, we're just gonna like
Dang.
I thought this
jump
was still
into-
intermission.
Yeah, I just don't know when to hop back in, so I've just been like the cameras have been rolling continue.
You can
It's
cut it
fine.
however you want.
Yeah, it's fine.
All right. Whoa.
Guitar.
guitar. Well, you'll know about like 55 minutes is the end of the first episode. Or the first part.
So
And
we're
then
shifting to Elon Musk taking over.
Robot
Something like that.
racism. This is what I meant when I said we're going to talk about race today. Not the human race division of arbitrary color differentiation on our skin, but
I don't think
actual
I
literal
have much to say about this. I'm like
robot
very
racism. Tech
Hey,
Insider.
robots are people too.
Your robots are people too. Treat Siri nicely, dude. Or Siri's
Why?
gonna Quill, are you a robot racist too?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Quill's a closet robot
I
racist.
feel like- yeah, maybe it's because he lives in Japan, so he sees them more often. You know.
Oh yeah, that's true, dude. Japan's gonna be the first country to have like robot slavery servitude.
It's already happening.
Like they're already there. It's just a matter of when smart AI will take over in the automation
What?
process of that, and then
The robots aren't sentient though. They're just programmed to
Aren't we
build
just
stuff.
programmed to fulfill, our needs and to
Yeah.
reproduce?
Mhm.
the basic needs to reproduce in whatever society and standards we place upon ourselves. But in that essence, life itself is machinery. Life works like a machine. Our bodily functions are all just bells and whistles, balances of equality. What? Equalization.
So when we jump
Equilibrium.
so when we jump back into, second or I guess like episode 2 of this session, should we talk about boba since we're on food? Or should we wait for Josh to talk about boba?
What does boba mean to you?
How did boba influence us?
That's deep.
Boba saved my life.
Boba saved my marriage.
I remember going to IT with Sean. I don't know if I should save this
Why?
for when we start again.
Okay, honestly, I don't know. I don't even know where I'm gonna cut this. Like, I might, honestly, just put this entire segment into.
Welcome
Welcome back,
to
everyone.
welcome to the next episode of this session.
Was the guitar there the intro?
Yes.
Yeah.
I got a drum set in the garage. I don't know how to play it, but just give me a second.
Just hit
Just do it right now.
just hit the symbol.
Dun dun ting.
Yeah. You get some noise complaints right now. Actually, I don't know how to transition into this. Like,
Hey guys, welcome back to the next episode. Last week we talked about
Eggs.
eggs, and this time we're branching out into an entirely new, unexplored topic area of boba. Kyle, why don't you start us off?
Oh yeah. So I remember when I took Sean to go get boba at a place called IT, spelled ITEA.
Information technology, folks.
I had to think real hard about that because I'm very confusing in my mind. I took him and I was like, I think I got the peach fruit tea, and I was like, Sean, you should really get this. It has popping boba. And then he's
up
now
until this point, I'd only had normal boba.
exactly.
normal tapioca balls.
Yeah.
And
And then it changed his life forever. He
Sean.
only gets peach fruit tea nowadays
I
at
think
IT.
if I look back at the bank statements from back then, a solid, easily half of my income was going to peach fruit tea.
That's what I'm talking about.
To be fair, I made like $10 a month, but
Peach fruit tea was your life.
actually, like thinking back on it, I have no idea how I afforded boba or gasoline back in high school. I don't know where that money came from.
The streets.
The streets.
I was
Whoa.
never that lucky. My brother was walking along by Bayfair BART because he used to work over at the Target over there. He's like walking to the BART station or something, come back, and he was walking along, and a car just slowly rolled up beside him. And was like, "Hey, you want to make $150 right now? No questions asked." What would you
I
guys do in
wish.
that situation?
Yeah, by all means, let's get it.
I'd be like, no thanks.
Why not?
All right, so Kyle lives, and the other two are dead.
Hey, 150 is 150.
See, we're anti-death. At least we got the money.
Yeah, exactly. Wait, why? Why would we die?
I don't know. I just nothing good is when you're sitting at a BART. Nothing good comes from sitting at a BART station having like two guys roll up in like a 1992 like Honda Civic and be like, "Hey, do you want to make $150?" Nothing good comes out of that situation.
Yeah,
What if there's,
especially
like-
when they don't say what you gotta do.
Yeah, so no questions asked. $150 right now.
Right. Yeah. What if they're just like, hey, can you move some bricks in our backyard? Oh yeah, for sure, dude.
No, I think it'd be, hey, just put these bricks in your bag and deliver them to this other side of town, if you know what I mean.
I bet those bricks are worth a lot more than $150 though.
I bet you they are. You know, real brick these days can be very expensive.
Is it?
I think it's actually labor mainly, as opposed to the price of the actual brick.
Good
Mm.
stuff. And that's
much
why
easier.
we have to treat our robots very carefully.
I don't
Isn't
think
it? Isn't
pure
it like
brick
real
buildings are very
people?
common
Yeah.
anymore, right?
Wait, what did you say, Cole?
Pure brick buildings aren't common at all anymore, right? The earthquake risk is too high, right?
I think so. I'm not a civil engineer, but I think maybe it's just because we live in California, right? Where like the big threat is earthquakes and fires. But maybe in like what's the
Yeah,
state
maybe
where
in Kansas.
yeah, maybe in Kansas, but they got tornadoes, and I don't know how well brick holds up to tornado.
If the Three Little Pigs are anything to learn from, I think brick won, right?
Brick one.
Brick did win,
Rock beats wind.
but
Rock beats flying.
but wind also has cars or big objects. But what are your guys' like go-to boba drinks when you get boba? Now that we know Sean's go-to boba drink,
Peach fruit tea.
yeah, with popping boba.
On the side of takoyaki.
Oh, takoyaki.
Ooh,
Miss it so much.
What's the Oreo drink? At
Oreo
IT
frosty.
At like Wendy's,
Yeah.
like Oreo milkshake.
Oreo
Yeah.
frosty. That leaves a
Oreo
weird coat
frosty with
on the
coffee
top of the
jelly.
wrapper.
Never had this. Never heard
It's
of
not
it.
really boba, but
Yeah,
that's my favorite.
It's more like a milkshakey drink.
yeah.
Yeah, I used to like that a lot, but then I couldn't get past the fact that it put like a weird film, like a layer of film on your roof of your mouth.
The dairy, yeah.
Yeah, it just felt really weird. Okay. I was always like a Hokkaido or Okinawa milk tea guy, but then after seeing the immense dedication of Sean to peach fruit tea, I was like, you know what? Let me get some too, and I've been a big fan ever since.
I gotta
Thank you.
say, now that I'm hearing this, I'm a big influencer, aren't
Yeah,
I?
dude.
You know, I influenced Quill back in high school.
Oh,
Uh,
that's for another day, dude.
therefore influencing you and Josh.
And Josh, and you just put us into a downward spiral, and that's the reason why we can't have stable relationships anymore. And
What have you done, Kyle?
I
Kyle,
influenced Sean and in Boba, and now Sean
You
has
ruined
influenced Ben.
I'm just a sheep, dude. I'm a sheep. I'm a sheeple.
Oh,
I just follow. I don't ever lead.
you
I'm
are
exactly what the government
right
wants.
But anyway, like my go-to drink, my my go-to drink is any like fruit teas is like good with me. Half sugar typically, or
Yeah,
is
that's usually what I do, but without the half sugar.
I like the tea taste like that.
What do you guys think of the cheese topping?
Like the cheese foam.
Cheese foam.
Yeah.
I like it. I think it depends on the drink. And
Mm.
honestly, I think maybe the thing that it ended up being the best with was I had a chocolate
Whoa.
thing at Happy Lemon.
Mm-hmm.
And it was
Oh,
like
it's
chocolate
like a
with the sea
chocolate
salt
tiramisu
cream.
thing, right?
I don't think it was it was just like a chocolate shake.
I had the
Um,
chocolate tiramisu at
and that was
Happy Lemon.
good.
Yeah,
I like it.
I like it too. It's because for me, it doesn't taste that cheesy. It's more just like a salty thing. So it's like salted caramel or like saltwater taffy in the same sense,
Mm-hmm.
with like a little bit of saltiness with a lot of sweetness. I don't really taste the cheese though for some reason.
Yeah, when people say like the cheese, like foam cream thing, I'm like, it's just like salty cream, I guess. But that's just me. What about you, Quill? Do you like it?
No, I'm lactose intolerant, so
Oh no!
No.
my taste buds like it, but my body doesn't. So
The fall of
But
man.
with one simple pill, all your problems are solved.
lactase solves all problems.
Wow. Hear the
Yeah.
children saying "wow" sound effect.
Wow. I hear there's a pill, or like a tablet thing, which you can take that will like negate like the sour taste
But that's
of
the best
anything.
taste.
The sour taste of what?
Of like anything. Like if you put what is it? Like if you eat sour candy, like really sour candy, it does not taste sour at all. Let me try and find it.
Wait, but what's the point of that then? If you're not gonna eat for the sour taste.
I don't know. It's interesting.
Huh?
I don't know why. Is it just me? But like, I feel like I sometimes have a hard time distinguishing sour from sweet. Or is that just me?
I think that's just you.
Okay.
Or at least that's in my view. But the pills are called M berries. I sent a link in our chat
Is
if you
the
want
M
to.
for magic? No, it's for miracle.
Miracle.
Wow.
Close enough.
It turns sour food sweet. By
See, I'm telling you, they're the same thing.
It
Yeah.
inhibits your taste receptor.
Mm. I guess from my experience, there is some form of like relation or similarity between sweet and sourness, so I can see where Sean's coming from in that. But I haven't experienced that like where
What would
they have a lot of
vinegar taste
overlap.
like with this?
You think vinegar would taste sweet?
Sweet vinegar? Oh, we
It's
should
like,
get.
it's
Sounds
like
so
wine.
good.
We should get these and like get apple cider vinegar and see.
Ew.
Or just even balsamic vinegar.
Oh no.
Oh,
What's
see
up?
what happens.
I'm
Stop.
kind of scared of this. Like, what if I eat this and then I can never taste the same again?
Yeah, like everything just needs to be sour and sweet for you.
I think it wears off. It wears off.
But no, you become addicted to it. You become it's a high every time you eat something sour after taking the M-berry pills.
Look, I'm addicted
guess-
to like sour candy already, so I don't think you can get rid of that addiction for me.
Careful, my brother drilled a hole with acid in his tongue when he was a kid.
Citric
What?
acid.
He was eating warheads and he had too many, and then there was like a visible like discoloration and like indentation in like the center of his tongue where he would like put them and suck on them.
Ew.
I mean, like my the top of my like roof, my mouth roof, bled a little bit when I had too many like warheads, but I'm not like the biggest like fan of warheads. I think my favorite like sour candy is like the sour belts.
Even
Those are
then.
pretty sweet though once you get all the coating off of them, right? The belts.
Yeah.
Those are really good. I always got those at the movie theater.
But you know, you buy some like citric acid powder from like Amazon,
Ooh,
and
I have that.
you can add even more sourness.
Stop.
Oh, Kyle.
Why would you do such a thing?
So you get super sour anything, right?
Super sour belts, you know, super sour Sour Patch Kid. I don't
See,
know.
I just use my citric acid to make cheese.
Oh.
Smart. Super sour cheese.
Well,
Yes.
now I'm opening Sean's usage of his citric acid to more things.
Yes, I can just eat it, you're telling me.
Mhm.
Just get a scoop and just
Oh,
it's
to get
I'll
that
go get
vitamin
them
C.
right now.
yeah. My dad bought like a huge 2-pound bag of citric acid once. He's like, "Oh, we gotta eat more vitamin C." So we barely touched the 2-pound bag of citric acid, and we just threw it away later. And that's why I don't like sour stuff.
You know what I don't like? I don't like black sesame. Just because, like, when my hair was, I had like a lot of gray hair, like back in like high school and all that. And my grandma told me to like have a spoonful of like black sesame, every day in order to like, I don't know, herbal like medicine stuff. No real science behind it, but I did it. I did it, and every time like I like just get a spoonful of like the black sesame, it was so bad. It was too strong and too much all at once. I should have like done something with it, but
Isn't
that
it
was
really
just me.
bitter?
Yeah, it's like very bitter, and then it always stays in your mouth because sesame seeds and
Mm. Sesame flavor.
Quo brought up going to the movies and getting like sour belts.
Those are the best.
What do you guys think about like movie theaters reopening like back up like right now?
Sounds like a mistake.
Big N-O. Yeah,
So
that's that.
the Alamo
Well-
Draft House is allowing you to like rent out theaters for your own private use. So I guess you could get like 10 of your friends and sit in opposite corners.
Sounds nice. Be down for that.
But who has the money to go to a movie theater if we're all out of work? I guess those unemployment checks.
Josh is reaping in those unemployment checks.
So am I.
Must be nice.
I think he'd rather be reaping in the employment checks.
Yeah, Sean's reaping in like big
Big.
employment check.
That's all we can disclose, though. However.
Yeah, we can't say what company.
I will say I have made at least $5 this year.
Nice.
Whoa.
Ooh,
Whoa.
dang! Living in the Bay Area too.
Enough for a
Oh,
boba, dude.
bruh.
Your
In
accountant.
fact, maybe
Wow.
2 bobas to play the cards right.
Oh, 2 bobas, probably at Quickly's, right? From the $2 $150 menu, or
You know it. At that price point, I can get 3 bobas.
oh,
Whoa. Living like Larry here.
4 bobas. 5 bobas.
So what is like your? Do you guys have like a favorite like boba place, or you guys don't really care?
Mandros.
That's
I
out
like
in
IT.
Fremont, right?
Probably.
What'd you say, Sean?
I like IT.
Our IT is actually a pretty good place compared to other ITs in other regions.
Yeah, there are
Something about
some.
Yeah, it is much better than the Alameda IT, I can say.
yeah,
Period.
much better than the IT up there too.
San Leandro IT not as good for sure.
There's no ITs in the South Bay.
There's yeah, it's just something special about our IT.
If I wanted like fruit teas, definitely I'd go to IT. But if I was like craving like a milk tea, Tea Sane or like Pico down in South Bay are my favorite places to go to for.
Wait, was one of those that like club, that really weird club one we went to
Yeah,
that once?
Yeah, it
That's
was like that
Pico.
really club one.
Oh, that one creeps me out so much.
I don't like the vibe there.
I don't like it at all. It's just like a bunch of like 12-year-old girls and then like 40-year-old men, and it's just like, oh no, I don't want to be here.
Well, that's why we gotta go to like Tea Sane because I think it's like different atmosphere, but you know,
Maybe in the
same
day-
recipe.
Fine. But like when we went at night last summer, that was I did
Wait, is is T saying that one place? Going back like a few years, is T saying the place that was created after the original creators of Pico got divorced, and then the husband took all the, like the
Yeah,
recipe? Oh,
Tea
I
Sane's
see.
is the other place. But
So
you know,
okay,
we support Tea Sane.
we support T saying because the wife was. I'm not trying to make people seem worse than they are, but was the wife cheating or something?
Yeah, the wife cheated, and then the husband left the wife, but took the recipes for the bobas and like the milkshake or the milk teas. My bad. And opened his own place down in South Bay. There's actually also one in SoCal as well.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Even boba has its own dramas.
Rama.
Drama. Another thing. Don't cheat. You'll get caught. But don't just not cheat because you get caught. But don't cheat because it's wrong.
I would just like to make clear, as well as being anti-death, I think this podcast is anti-cheat.
We are anti-cheat.
Yeah, my academic integrity is so high.
Yeah,
Don't
pro
get
eggs.
tempted by
Pro
the
eggs.
cobra.
Pro eggs. Minus Josh.
Minus
We can
Sean.
say that because Josh isn't here.
Well, he's not here, so
This session is pro eggs.
I think we should make a vote, like an official vote, so that we can say this podcast is 100% pro egg. All in favor, say aye.
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 Now
All
we're
right,
pro
the
eggs.
ayes have it.
You gotta put
It's
in like
official.
now you gotta put in the YouTube like the title box. You know how like they have like a little hashtag for some of the videos now.
Yeah.
You gotta put hashtag pro egg.
Hashtag
Pro egg podcast.
Yeah. I was thinking about just replacing our profile picture and the end card. How it's just us surrounding a cup of boba. It'll just be an egg now.
I like that.
Yeah. I'll just use my
And then
amazing
the
paint
one
skills.
person who's frowning in the truck is Josh.
It's Josh. Perfect. I'll have to remember to do that.
I just want to say before we move on from boba that boba in Japan is terrible when compared with America or even Taiwan. Like,
Isn't there only like share tea or gongcha or something like that?
yeah, and there's a few small places that are run by usually Chinese immigrants, and no offense to them, but it's just maybe it's the Japanese tea that's used. It's bad. It's real bad.
Mm.
So much better in Taiwan and the Bay Area.
Mm.
Cannot recommend anyone from the Bay Area having boba here.
Uh-huh. Is it called milk tea?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's miruku tea.
Miruku tea. Oh, that's cute.
So when you say to your friends, "Let's go get boba," I hear like in like East Coast, they're like, "Boba, what's boba?" And then they know it as bubble tea. Do you, do you go, or how would you pronounce it? I guess. Or
In
yeah.
Japan, it's always milk tea.
Gyunyu cha.
No, it's miruku tea. I don't, gyunyu cha.
Gyunyu cha. Because in Mandarin they just call it nacha, which is like milk tea.
Naicha.
Naicha, yeah. And
They
then
called it
Naicha is
Yurcha.
for what? Kanto, I think.
nacha, yeah. But then in
Gyucha,
Korea,
it's beef
oh,
tea.
beef, yeah. Gyucha. In Korea, sort of like the Kleenex, like what would you call it? The Kleenex phenomenon, where like people refer to tissues as just Kleenexes itself.
Mhm.
I'm not saying like for all of Korea, because I'm sure Koreans call it milk tea as well. But then gongcha itself has become like a terminology used as just like a word for milk tea. So it's
Mm.
interesting how language is constantly evolving, and for Koreans they decided to use gongcha, a franchise of milk tea, to be the name of milk tea itself.
The Kleenex of boba.
The Kleenex of boba in Korea, yeah. Oh, oh, my neck. Wait, hold up. Before we get to the next topic, just a moment.
I really like Hong Kong milk
Oh,
tea.
oh, jeez. Okay.
That's super good.
It
I
is
like
super good.
black tea a lot, actually.
Assam tea is really good.
Yeah. I don't know, just like tea that's just tea with. I mean, it is good with like sugar or like milk or cream,
Mhm.
but like just tea and water.
Thai milk tea. Oh,
Oh yeah,
Ooh.
it's good.
so
There's
good.
a Thai place in Berkeley every Sunday. If you go there and order an entree, they give you free Thai tea.
Wow.
And actually, another Thai place during pandemic time. As soon as that started happening, they try to get people to like order out from them. They had the promotion where you could bring your own container and they would fill it up no matter what it was with Thai tea.
A bucket.
Yes. Yeah. So I think when me and my girlfriend went, we just brought like a thermos, like a big thermos. They filled it all the way up.
Nice.
Nice.
That's smart.
So, what do you guys want to talk about?
Is this for the second part? Are we actually making a second part?
I thought that was the
I thought
second part.
I thought this was the second part.
I still don't know. I don't know what's going on.
We had Sean do a whole new intro for
Yeah.
part 2. We're doing a part 3 now as well. Okay.
Hey
let's go
guys,
part-
welcome back. This is part 3 of distance socialization. This week we'll be talking about Kyle. What are we talking about?
Let's talk about gotcha games.
You know, I'm
What-
actually gonna make this into 3 separate videos.
Yeah,
Oh,
release
dude.
one every
Wait,
week.
guys, stop making more work for me, please. I'm
Okay,
not
we can
paid.
do it. We'll do 7 ones, and then we can have one a day.
Oh, I can't fit that
Genius.
into my schedule.
Well, no, you just need to do one a week. And now we have backlog
Dang, okay.
off of this one session.
Yeah, that's nice. All right, so Kyle, what are we talking about?
Oh no, Sean, you have to do the intro again.
Hey guys, how's it going? This is Sean here. Welcome to this episode of Distance Socialization. This week we will be talking about.
Let's talk about some gacha game, because the biggest gacha game that's going around right now is Genshin Impact. So I just want to know, like, what are your guys' thoughts on gacha games? Like, I play
really
a lot
have
of
no
gacha.
thoughts, to be completely honest.
Yeah, me neither. I just
What's a gotcha game?
Okay.
So Kyle will be explaining to us. He will be asking helpful questions, so that the audience may be asking themselves.
Okay, so a gacha game is basically like, I think most people would refer to it like for a mobile game. But you have this system where you use like the in-game, like, quote unquote, like maybe like currency to roll for like better units and stuff like that. And a lot of the time with gacha games, there are the whales where they will spend real life money to like get certain units or waifus and stuff like that in order to like be really good at the game. So like a couple games that are considered gacha games are like Puzzles and Dragons, Genshin Impact, Azure Lane, Love Live School Idol, like Festival.
So it's basically pay to play, right?
Oh, there you have like a decent portion of like the player base just playing free to play, because as you play like and like beat levels and all that, you earn like the currency to like roll for the units. You'll eventually like earn enough to roll on your own. But say if for the whales, like, oh, you missed like the one, you didn't get that unit just based on or just by playing the game, you would spend your own. Some of them are, I will say, like pay to win. You pay, you have better units and better stuff. But there are, I guess, maybe few and far between where you don't need to pay to like be good. So like, yeah.
Oh, no, go. You're not done yet.
I was gonna say, like, if you play, like, for those of you who play like School Idol Festival, how that's like a rhythm game, but like I guess really you're rolling for the character you want, and then it's just like purely an aesthetic like role to get, I think, for the most part. That will only like help you so much, but then there are some where like you need this unit to do the newest content. And then, yeah, what's your question, Ben?
Oh, it wasn't a question, it was a statement.
What were you gonna say then, Ben?
So in essence, gacha games, like many other mobile games with premium currencies, come down to the fact that it is 95% of the time pay to win. Yes, Quill, they are pay to win games.
I see. Puzzles and Dragons.
Pay to
Example
win.
more. Got it.
Yeah.
School Idol Festival, pay to win. Fire Emblem Heroes, pay to win. But it depends on what, in what context are we talking about winning.
Yeah.
in player versus player modes, then yes, of course, every mobile game is pay to win.
So Puzzles and Dragons is still a thing. That was
I
it's
think
freshman year of high school, right?
yeah,
Yeah, it's still a
That's
thing.
like all of high school. It was pretty
All-
popular.
it kept raining. It was,
I remember our student teacher in Japanese played good Pazudora.
She did?
Yes.
Wow. Never
I don't
knew.
remember that.
I don't remember that. What kind of secrets do you know about her?
Well, the world may never.
uh, is the what's because gotcha, right? It's called gotcha games because it's
Mhm.
derived from the word gachapon, which is the thingy where you like put in the coins on the machine and then it rolls a random thingy of selections for you, right?
Yeah.
That's where the term gotcha comes from.
Yep.
All right, got it. Okay, what's the appeal of gotcha games for you?
It feeds my gambling needs. So like, since I'm very like frugal. I think that's the right word. With my money, so I don't really spend too much unless it's like food, because food gives me like real pleasure.
Oh, okay,
Pleasure
hold
to
there,
eat.
cowboy.
Eggs, right?
Eggs.
We are pro egg.
How many eggs do you eat a week?
Don't worry about that. But yeah, if there's like a adrenaline aspect of like actually getting something good and useful that like keeps pulling me back. I'm like, even though like I'm free to play, I kind of like that feel like this event is going on where this really good unit is here and I've like saved up. Let me try and get it. And there are like downsides where you just don't get it, but when you do get it, it's like you're like success.
Success?
Yes,
You
you
succeeded in gambling?
yes, you got what you wanted, and you're feeling like the high, I guess. Like
Mm.
But then it's never enough. Got to come back for the next high.
exactly. That's how I that's why I keep playing pad. I've invested too many days into it.
Mm.
It's the sunk cost fallacy, Kyle.
Fallacy.
My brother was a prolific RuneScape gambler, so I've
Oh no!
dealt with such a thing in my own family, so I know the struggles that you're
Uh,
going through.
Sean, I'm so sorry to hear that.
So
Yeah, he made out really well. He's much richer than I am to this day.
To feel his more online gambling addiction.
if we
But
went to Vegas,
no,
would you guys gamble with
I don't have the money
with
for
me?
it.
I don't have the money and I don't drink, so I
Yeah,
don't
there's
know
no
if
fun
I'd
in that.
have a good time at all.
It's just we're just choking on the cigarette smells and everything.
I think the jacuzzi would be nice if we could hang out in the pool or something.
Mhm.
But you
Jacuzzi
can do
talk.
that anywhere.
You know,
What about
think
you,
that-
Sean?
See, after seeing the success of my brother and many of my friends in RuneScape with their gambling, I was like, I should try this out for myself. And what I learned is I have terrible luck. And so it's really not worth it for me. I would do the same thing they do and just lose like 10 million coins.
Oh,
And then they would do it and win like 100 million. I'd be like, what the hell? So every time I gambled, I failed.
Mm.
So
Does that make our podcast an anti-gambling podcast as well?
I'm not necessarily against gambling. I just think that you have to go into it with the perspective of I am
You're
paying
not
this much
gonna.
money to be entertained. So you give yourself a budget. You say, okay, I'm paying $1,000 to gamble because I do think the money does help make the games more enjoyable. Like I love me a good game of poker, but it's really just not the same at all without putting money on it. Even if it's like a relatively small amount of money, say like $10 or $20, it changes how people play, and it gives it some like real stakes.
Okay, okay, okay. I like that perspective.
But I go into it thinking I'm going to lose, so that when I do, I'm not sad.
Mm.
Yeah,
You,
I went to Vegas once, and I kind of see like the appeal. Like you're like, oh, I'm like winning some money, but then a lot of time you're losing the money. But it's also like for the maybe like the thrill or just like the entertainment of like maybe like watching the slots go or playing blackjack, trying to beat the dealer. I kind of agree with like Sean's point for the most part.
Hmm.
Go in with the budget, and if you come out positive, you had a good night.
Mhm.
Come out negative, or you had some sort of like entertainment at the end.
Yeah, you paid for the thrills of gambling,
Yeah.
but if you keep reaping in, winnings and stuff, how or where would you guys put a like hard stop on it then? If you just never ran out of money because you kept winning and winning.
Well, you see, I have this foolproof gambling strategy. Whenever you lose, you just have to put in twice the amount that you lost. And therefore, as long as you win once, you are guaranteed to get all of your money back.
Dang.
Big
To be
brain.
What
fair,
if
the
you
amount of money
keep
you
losing?
lose exponentially grows, but
Okay, so say like I put in $20, right?
yes. And then you lose, and then you put in 40, then you lose, and
Mm-hmm.
you put in 80, then
Mm-hmm.
you lose, you put in 160, then you lose, you put in 320, then you lose, you put in 640,
And then
And
you
you lose your
win.
1280.
car, and then you lose your house.
So you should stop when you can't do the math, right? Is that the logic?
See,
Yeah.
unfortunately, as a programmer, I have been trained to think in powers of two, so I don't know if that's going to help me. I lost 20 megabytes of money, you know?
Oh God, that's so much. So many zeros.
$20 million or cents. Well, I'll take cents because then it's only $200,000.
Oh,
All I say is like don't gamble when you're like super drunk, have because
That's the
at
best time to
at
gamble.
at the casinos, if you're like gambling, the drinks are free. Most of the drinks are free. Um and that's maybe like how they get a lot of people too is, you keep gambling because you're drunk and you feel slighted that you lost your money. But if you go in with the budget and you're like somewhat rational in thinking, uh, I don't think that should be a problem. And if you're winning a lot, like once I won like a decent amount, and then you feel like you're starting to lose a little bit, that's when I stop.
Hmm.
So at least you'll come out positive and having a good night.
a good night.
Free drinks.
Yeah, free drinks.
Thrill of gambling. Gotcha games. So you actually have gone to like Vegas and gambled.
Yeah, my cousin lives out in Vegas, so he took it was my first time like gambling and like being in Vegas when I was like 21.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I made $200 that day, something like
Wow.
that. So I had a positive experience, but I know you're most likely gonna come out negative
Mm-hmm.
unless you're very good at blackjack, I would say, or very lucky,
Mm-hmm.
because there is definitely a good skills aspect to blackjack. Like you see the dealer has like this first card, so which you can like predict, have a decent enough prediction that they will like bankrupt because of it. I don't really like have that skill, but my cousin had that skill, and I was like, I played with him. I was like, dang, a lot more like skill based than or a lot more skill than I thought it like entailed.
I think statistically, blackjack is the only game with a net positive probability for the player in casinos. So, as a gambler, it would be the best choice of game if you
Mhm.
wanted to try to make money.
Mm.
But that assumes that you're a perfect gambler, that you win every time you're dealt a hand that wins,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
and that's not always the case. Sometimes you
Mm.
might fold out.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, if we go, you guys should try it like at least once. So you have the perspective of gambling some money, you
Yeah.
like I went in with $20 and I was like, this is as much as I'm gonna, use.
Yeah.
So whoever wins money buys dinner, right? That's how this works, right?
It depends on how big the winnings are.
Exactly.
last summer when I was an intern, in like our intern group chat friend group that I was a part of, there was this one guy who would occasionally leave work at like 3 or 4 p.m. and drive to the casino and then like play poker. And occasionally he would crowdfund his like money.
What?
And so he'd be like, okay, who wants to buy in? Give me $20 and you'll get, let's say it's like $100 table. Give me $20, I'll give you 20% of the profits.
Interesting. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't like buy in.
I did not buy in, but other people did, and I think they did come out ahead. But we'd also talk to this guy, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I think I'm overall positive. I won this amount of money. I lost $5,000 this once, but
Well, at least he's in the green, or in the red.
theoretically,
black?
I don't know if
Yeah.
he's not going to tell us if he's actually lost $10,000.
Mm-hmm.
It's one way to feed your gambling addiction, crowdfunding.
Yes.
I mean, if you watch that like Mr. Beast video where he like bought like I don't know X amount of dollars of scratchers, I think he came out in the negative
Yeah.
in money. But I don't buy scratchers like too often, but like so maybe like twice, 3 times a year I would buy one. It's like sort of entertaining.
Hmm. Like it's always crossed my mind to like maybe buy a scratcher just to see what it's like, or put some numbers into the lottery. But maybe I'm just too stingy with my money to experience those things.
Understandable. I
Invest
really
in
only
the
buy
stock
like
market.
the dollar one, the dollar scratcher.
Hmm.
Therefore, if I lose, I feel like it's only $1, I guess, in the long run.
Yeah. And then cool, you brought up the stock market. The biggest gambling of all
Stonks?
times. Stonks?
Didn't we had
Stonks?
this talk like first episode, right, of the
Yeah.
stock market?
Stock.
Yeah, an alternative to Vegas gambling is to gamble in New York with
Wall
the
Street.
Wall Street kids. Yeah.
Tell everybody buy Blockbuster. I think it's really on the up and up.
Ooh, is this insider information?
It is. But don't say
Yes.
it was. Hmm.
I can say this because I'm not affiliated with them, but of course they're just IPO'd. So
Wait, they did?
yeah, I think it
I
was.
thought they were always IPO'd, no?
No, it was a private company until last week, 2 weeks ago.
Hmm.
So
Oh, looks
anyway,
like
that's another.
they're doing pretty well since their IPO.
How do I buy?
How do you buy? If you want to buy Corsair,
Yeah,
It's a lot of
Robin
money.
Hood?
you're right. Can I just
Yeah,
go and...
Robinhood. There's no fees, right?
Yeah.
Just make sure to pay your taxes.
that's
yeah,
like the annoying thing I think of all that.
Capital gains.
I feel like because there's like all the stock stuff and it's so complicated. I might have to actually get someone to do my taxes feeling just because I don't want to like mess it up.
TurboTax that.
Yeah, but I don't even know. Like, I don't even know the rules and like how I pay taxes and all the stuff I do. Because there's some like employee
Yeah, I
stock
think
purchase program, and it's like this whole thing.
I think it gets harder, once you get a real job.
Well, I think it's easier if like you don't get stock as a part of the job.
You're right.
Then you just get a single W-2 and you'll type the number in, click enter, get your return back. But I think stocks just make it really complicated.
That's another document paperwork to do. Oh.
Well, since we talked about like, I guess like gotcha gaming as like something entertaining I do. What like games or like other things do you guys do? Have been doing during this like pandemic?
I've been sitting on the bathroom floor staring at the wall.
I feel like I've also been doing that. I don't really know what I've been doing.
I bought a motorcycle.
But that was always the plan, even before all this. Remember we talked about that last summer.
Scoot, scoot. Vroom, vroom.
Vroom vroom. Yeah,
Okay.
can't get coronavirus if you're booking it at 80
Outspeed
miles an
the
hour
virus.
down the highway.
Too fast to get caught. How would you describe your motorcycle?
Sorry?
How would you describe your motorcycle?
A 250cc monoshock. What is it called? A 4-stroke, 49 horsepower, 30-year-old beast.
Ooh,
Nice.
an older one, I see.
How would you say the drivers are in Japan compared to like the Yei area?
Much more kind. People will actually let you pass in front of them. People actually know what it's like to drive alongside a motorcyclist.
Hmm.
I haven't been killed, so that's, I think that's a good sign.
Yes, we are each death here.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you got killed, we have to change our like podcast.
Yeah, I'm sorry. If you get killed, we're kicking you out of here because, we can't condone someone who
Yeah.
partakes in death.
Yeah, we just
I
can't
broke
have you
the
here
code.
anymore. I'm sorry.
We're
That's just our
anti-death.
terms,
Yeah. And I think drivers are a lot better skill-wise here because the roads are so small, so narrow, and you really need a high level of spatial awareness to be able to maneuver on a lot of the roads here. And in California, you kind of just point the car in the direction of the lane and hit the gas, and that's it. So it's a great experience driving here. It is a bit jarring, uh, driving on the left, but you get used to that.
Are there any like other like different rules like compared to like driving in the States?
In Japan, you have to, by law, stop at every railroad crossing, no matter what type of vehicle you're on. So even if you're riding a bicycle, you're supposed to stop at a railroad crossing. So it can create traffic jams because in the rural parts of town, it's really cramped and everyone has to stop. So it just creates a long line of cars. But otherwise, you can lane split in Japan, which is really nice for me. I just vroom up the middle of the lane. Um, Otherwise, turn left on green or whatever that is. Um, the opposite of the States. And the speed limits are really low here. So on the Kosogodoryo, the toll road, you can only go 80 kilometers an hour, which is 50
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah,
And
around 50.
most non-toll roads, the fastest speed is 60 kilometers an hour, which is, I don't know, 40. So people are just moving slower in general. So I think that makes you feel safer, but it also makes road trips kind of arduous because it takes so long. And if you want to go fast, you have to pay for toll roads. One good thing about American infrastructure, our gasoline taxes pay for highways. It's beautiful. Doesn't happen in a lot of other countries.
1, 2, 3, 4. But at the same time, construction or like reconstruction or repairs on the roads may be slow in some regions or areas.
That is true. Taxes can't pay for maintenance.